Thank you. Tonight we're a little setback. This is episode 8 of Inside Zed Run, and send your thoughts and prayers to Lucky Jack from Lucky Jack Stables in Connecticut right now. They were hit by a hurricane, and send your thoughts and prayers to everybody that was affected by this hurricane. So we still have Jarek LG of Evergreen Stables, a very new person to the Z platform. I think he's been in about 2 to 3 weeks. And we have Sean from Sean vs. All and Tom Teasy of the Digital Derby fame guys down here. Zed Bets, if you're not on them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, you got to get there to help learn the platform. I'm always in the chat as well, and in their afties that they always talk about if you're familiar with it. So how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, sorry, still being a noob. I forgot
Mhm.
my partner in crime over here, MJ Stables, the king of the king of speed and Zed. If you're not
Oh,
using
thank you,
MJ
thank you.
Informatics to analyze your horse and improve his performance, the link will be in the description of the YouTube video, and it's in the description of all the YouTube videos. Go there, type your horse in, get better, win some ETH. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Doing
Yeah,
well,
doing,
man.
doing
Thanks for
good.
having us. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for
How you
coming
doing,
on.
Golden Glow?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So,
So,
go ahead.
to kind of kick things off with you guys, Jarek, you are pretty new to the Zedrun game. How did you stumble into Zed? Only what? It's been 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. I was always kind of paying attention to Zed. My first introduction to NFTs was Top Shot, so I feel like a lot of people in the Zed run space that they kind of go through the same like stages. They enter Top Shot and then they find Zed run. So I knew about Top Shot. I knew the basic concept of what NFTs were, and then I was just watching Al Smizzle games one day, and I'm like, man, this game looks like a lot of fun. He was rooting for his horse, and he was hyped. So yeah, I went and just did my research, and the what I thought to be the best horse would be a Z2 Legendary Nakamoto. So I picked one up, and turns out he's a beast horse.
So yeah, can we talk about that for a minute? You basically blindly bought a Z2 Legendary Nakamoto scratch ticket unraced for 1.1 ETH. How did you go about like trying to pick that horse, trying to get that horse?
Just doing the research of like the bloodlines and the genotype. I wanted to stay as close as I could to Z1, and I just wanted to get a Nakamoto because that's the first thing you see when you go on Zed Run. It's boom, Nakamoto, like front page. So I was like, all right. And with the mutations or the thoroughbred percentage, I'm not too sure like what it is, but they have the best bloodline. So I was like, all right, Nakamoto, legendary. The way I thought of it was if Serena Williams had a son with LeBron James, what would that look like? It would be like a super athlete. So that was my thought process.
So did you look into the parents of diamonds and try and see if they had any good offspring, or was it just, hey, this is a good price, it fits my criteria, so I'm gonna roll with it?
Yeah, well, first of all, it was a good price, but can you look up unnamed horses? Because I don't. I think that because I'm trying to think if I looked them up. I
You
don't
can
think
on
you can.
Haku, I believe.
You,
Okay.
you can with the ID. If you
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
ID.
Yeah, I was such a noob. I guess it was just a blind luck. Yeah, I didn't look any
That
of them
makes the
up.
story way better,
Yeah,
like that's even cooler to me.
yeah.
Very, very cool. That is absolutely wild. So just kind of flipping it back over to Sean and Tumteezy. Um, have you guys, so I guess kind of going back to my first question is like, what got you guys into Zed? How did you get into Zed? And have you always been kind of partnered together, whether that be in Zed or other gaming, other streaming kind of aspects?
Yeah, sure. So we came into Zed at the same time. We grew up in the same neighborhood, used to terrorize the neighborhood on our bicycles as kids, like average kid stuff, right?
Sure.
But we grew up in the Dallas area and I took jobs in oil and gas. So I was moving around a lot. I mean, staying, living in different places, stuff like that. I've lived in Colorado twice. So like gaming has kind of always kept my friendship strong with like the core day one friends from back home that I grew up with. Like we would always be playing the same games together and stuff like that. So, I mean, that continued through our adult years or whatever, as we kind of go different directions in life. But what really kind of kicked off Zed was that I had moved to Houston last year in December, and so I was going to stream a game called Black Desert Online, which is like an MMO, which we were all playing super heavy at the time. So like my friends, Tommy and others, they kind of gassed me up to stream. They're like, you definitely have the personality for it. Like, you should do it, cause I would kind of act like a streamer in Discord, like easy clap chat, like stuff like that. So they kind of gassed me up, like, you should just try it, you should do it. So I built a computer, I got set up in Houston to stream. And so what I wanted to stream on that MMO, they basically removed from the game. And so I'd done all this research on streaming, on like the things that make streamers succeed and content creation. And I really did my homework for like 3 months. And then I was April ready to flip the lights on. They took away what I wanted to stream. So I'm kind of like, I spent all this money on my computer, like I got this sick computer and all this stuff. So I was kind of like, what do I do now? And then I got a text message one day from my friend who asked me, what's your email address? And I was like, why? Like just kind of trolling him, And he was like, I'm going to send you a link to buy a Zed Run horse. And so I had heard about Top Shot a little bit, and I was kind of fascinated with NFTs, like hearing about it for the first time. Like I had that gut feeling like NFTs will be big, like it will disrupt a lot of things, So I was already bullish with zero knowledge of NFTs. I was just like automatically bullish. So once my friend sent me that text, me and Tommy looked at it. We looked at the game, and we just immediately started buying terrible fucking horses for a lot more than we should have, but we just wanted to ape in. And that led to me flipping the lights on and starting to stream it, because there wasn't a lot of streamers in late April. And then Tommy kind of had this idea for Zed Bets, which I'll let him kind of speak to.
Yeah, Tommy, please tell us more about that, and also like how you got into Zed. Were you also going to do was it Black Desert Online as well?
I played Black Desert with Sean, but I wasn't going to stream it with him or anything. I was going to just be a spectator in his chat. When he did start, it was just like me and a few other friends, just in chat, talking to him. He was talking to us through Twitch, but yeah. So Sean and one of our other friends, he was the one that got us onto Zed Run. I went to Zed Run, and the first thing that crossed through my head was just like, oh, this is CryptoKitties 2.0. I'm about to get effed if I buy one of these horses, and so, but this time I saw that, like, because when I got into CryptoKitties back in like 2016, 2017, the Genesis cats are already gone, and you're just buying like the scraps overpriced. Yeah. And so this one, I saw that, we have a chance at getting the Genesis horses and kind of being like a big player in Zed. And so that's kind of like what caused me to ape into Zed Run with Sean. I wish we could have got a Z2 NAC legendary at the time, but that was the first horse we all went to go look at. We're like, well, that's not our price range. Let's keep going down the list. But yeah, Zed Bets, like, when Sean started, when he started streaming, I was just like, well, what can we do to like make this more engaging to our viewers? It's like, watching our horses race, like, at the time we only had like a couple horses. They sucked. Like they only got like fourth or fifth. And it was just like, that's not fun if we can't get like, if we can't get first, have a chance at winning. Right. And so what makes it more interesting is like a lot of like some of the people that still come to our chat, Solar and Shredder and stuff, that like they didn't have horses. They actually didn't get into, I don't know why they showed up to our stream. I guess because Sean was like such an amicable guy, but they stuck around, and I was just like, hey, maybe I could put this thing to where y'all can also like be a part of the game as we're watching this stuff. And so that's really what like drove the reason of building Zed Bets, and then like our goal was to have like 10 people in there, and I think when we dropped Zed Bets there was like 12 of us all betting, and we completely forgot to race our horses, and at that moment we were just like, okay, I think we're onto something with this platform.
What yeah, for those of you that don't know or haven't checked it out, Sean's Twitch, twitch.tv/Sean vs all. What they've created with ZBets, I think, is really just adding a whole nother dimension and a layer on top of Zed that just like increases the interactivity with the platform. And they also do giveaways of horses, other NFTs too. So it's so much fun, and it really adds a whole nother dimension of excitement to Zed, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. To add on top of that, we do know at some point in time there's going to be betting. So I would suggest definitely going on their chat. Tommy's and Sean has already alluded that they're going to be removing the odds from the platform just to get everybody used to dealing with not having odds. We do know odds are going away. They're being replaced by the flames and something else. Because the flames are not the only thing, and everybody seems like we're all, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Odds are going. But they did say they're putting the flames in addition to something else. They just haven't revealed it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could actually speak a little bit about that tonight because Tommy did a lot of coding over the weekend on ZBets. But the goal for us is we know odds are going away, right? So we want to shift to pari-mutuel betting, which is what actual racehorsing involves, right? And so that basically means if everyone in chat is betting on one horse, Steph Curry, for example, then the odds are going to get smaller and smaller. It's going to move the line essentially, and the payouts are going to be a lot smaller. But that's how real horse racing betting works. We've had a lot of feedback from people that have come into the chat and like wish that it was a little more realistic. So we're trying to move ZBets in that direction. And with odds going away already, it's like an obvious like, okay, let's make this shift now. We'll get people kind of accustomed to looking at these races without having odds as the only thing that matter, But I mean, Tommy can speak more about the updates that are going to be coming this week.
Yeah, I mean, like
any insight?
So like when it was really originally made, it's kind of like arcadey, It's like everybody gets money. If you have a bad night, yeah, you're going to go down to zero. But if you can pick one of the first three horses, you're gonna see some little return on it. Now it's gonna switch over to pari-mutuel, where it's like the pool of money, and based off of that pool determines the odds of the horse and your payout. We're gonna have more bets though. We're gonna have a win bet, a place in a show, a trifecta, the exacta, and a superfecta.
Nice.
And then like I think it took Sean and I like 2 months to, like, when we first introduced ZBets, we only had the bet, right? And then we put in trifecta, and people would come in and be like, oh, is the trifecta boxed or unboxed? And we're just like, what does that mean? We don't know. We don't know what boxed or unboxed is. All we know is that you don't have to get the order right. And I think it took us 2 months to know what box betting meant. And then you get other people that come in, they're like, oh, I want to do a wheel bet. And it's like, what the hell is a wheel bet? And so we're not too, I guess, familiar with a lot of the betting that is done in horse racing or racing in general. So do you know what a box bet is, Sean?
I do now, but
Okay.
for months I did. I mean, we didn't know shit about horse
just
betting
like,
at all.
yeah,
it was like, how can we be DGens? Like, how can we engage with the audience and let them feel like they have a horse in the race, which is a lot more fun than just watching somebody else race their horse all night. That was kind of the point.
In the chat, Retro Racing said he'll gladly help you guys anytime.
Let's go.
And so, Jarek, I'm gonna start this question off with you. Since you are relatively new, how do you find yourself approaching Zed? Are you finding yourself approaching Zed as a breeder or a racer, or a combination of both?
I mean, I guess it depends, like, what you get when you enter the game. Like, if you get a donkey, if you want to stay in the game, I guess maybe like the only way you're gonna be able to stay in the game is to breed. But if you pull a racehorse, then obviously you can race. So my plan right now is just to be a racing stable, because I did pull a racer, but I also have one horse that is kind of a donkey, so I can play both sides.
Nice, nice. Um, what about you, Sean and Tumteezy?
Like as far as like an overall stable strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a unique one, right? Because I mean, I came into Zed basically wanting to be a content creator for Zed, right? So that means I've kind of planned and organized and spent accordingly to that, right? So what that looks like is giveaways. You know, I need volume in my stable. I don't have a narrow focus. I consider my stable strategy wide and long. Like I want to be on Zed for the next 10 to 20 years. You know, like this is a long play for me. So that means I want volume and I want to be able to give away a lot of horses to onboard as many people as I can to help grow the game, you know? So, I mean, my strategy is, you know, I've made some key purchases like in the last month. And like, if it wasn't for these other NFT projects, I just straight up wouldn't have had the money, you know, but like I've come up on a lot of NFT projects from April to now that have afforded me, you know, to go and buy Zabo blood, to go get some Nakamoto blood. So, I mean, I have Vinny, Zabo, Nakamoto, and a ton of Buterin blood in my stable. So I feel like I have a really good mix as far as blood goes. I don't do a lot of inbreeding in my stable. So I like to go grab, you know, I grab a stud here, a stud here, a stud here. So I would consider me to have kind of a different strategy than most people because I strictly want volume. I don't particularly care about having the best racehorse on Zed. Like that's not what my plan looks like for Zed. It's more about getting a really wide, really deep stable. And I think, of course, over time, like my Genesis and my legendaries, the value is going to go up over time as Zed grows, right? So I'm super long and super bullish. But for me, it's like, I want to be able to give away a lot of horses and onboard a lot of people. So I've mapped my strategy towards that, you know?
And do you have within that kind of strategy, do you have a personal favorite horse?
Probably the one I named, Sean versus All, but it gets like 45 odds. I mean, I don't know. It's like I mean, Rogue Chaser is a decent horse. I have Lord Devoutly. I mean, I have a couple ones that are like decent, but my first horse on Zed is a horse named 11 Seconds. It's a Genesis, and
Nice.
I mean, I feel like buying that horse changed my life, like straight up. You know, like if I don't get into Zed, then I don't see all these other opportunities in NFTs, you know, and I'm not able to quit my job, do this full time. So, I mean, I consider that one horse like that was a game changer for me. The first one.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I feel like the first horse always has some sort of sentimental value, regardless of how well they perform. In Jarek's case, you got lucky with that first horse.
Yeah.
Killed it. That's so awesome, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a great story to have, you know?
That's the dream.
right?
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
That goes back to like what Doofy always says: race your horses, because
Right.
you could luck out and have a diamonds on your hand or a crimson chin from racing your horses, you know. So like race them. The Genesis ones you might want to hold one in the tuck that just collects dust and like you
I have
want to
one.
scrape it every now and then.
Yeah, I have one I'm not going to race. It's like a Z9 that I got from the drop, and I don't know. I maybe one day I will, but for now I'm keeping it in the tuck. But yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah, the other ones, like if you got a bred horse, there's no sense keeping it unraced, unbred. Just race it. You know, it's you can end up with like the top horse on the platform, or you could have like the worst horse on the platform and feel like the rest of us who race these horses.
right.
So,
And then, so
go
do
ahead.
you and Tumteezy share a stable, or is it completely separate?
Completely separate.
So
Completely separate.
what does your stable look like, Tumteezy?
Just about the same as Sean. Like we have this equivalent amount of horses in both of our stables. My plan was to like help Sean with like breeding as well, but I also wanted to breed like all the different bloodlines. So I'd go and buy horses that were Zebo, Knack, and Vinny and Uterine. I wanted to have fun. I love racing my horses. I love trying to figure out like how many horses can I race in one day, and are they like if I race all these horses, do I break even? Do I make any money doing that? And but yeah, I'd consider like a mix because I like breeding my own horses and then going and racing them. So, but I want to make sure that I have all the bloodlines to be able to just like mix and match,
I love it.
But yeah, that like I love racing, and I also like going and like trying to create a new horse that can pull better odds than my good horses.
Have you had any success with that yet? Before we get too deep into breeding?
Yeah. I had well, I have one horse a couple horses, that have been decent. My best horse I bought when Sean and I first started streaming, and she was unraced, unbred, and came from 2 donkeys. But I literally bought her because I was like, well, we can race this on stream in the Griffin, and ended up getting lucky that she's kind of like good, like decent. She's not
Nice.
like the best, but she
Yeah.
is profitable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So is she your favorite horse?
Yeah, she's my favorite horse.
Nice. And what's her name?
Reba.
Oh
I was
yeah,
getting
we
ready
already
to
talked
say,
about
Reba.
Reba.
Definitely your favorite.
Reba's my favorite horse. If I saw
Love it.
Reba, then Versace French Toast is my second favorite.
Love the name.
And then if I saw Versace French Toast, I got Water Whipping Wizard. So
Wow, you got so many fun names in there.
Yeah, he
Tell them where you get them from. Tell
yeah,
them.
I got a
Yeah.
Spotify. I got a Spotify. I get it there. I get it from Riff Raff.
He
Go
goes
Riff
to
Raff.
riff raff songs, and it's like a wealth of hilarious names.
Because like
so.
he uses like all these colors to name his tracks, and I was like, well, all these horses have the colors, so
That's great. That is amazing. Amazing. So talked a little bit kind of about your approach to breeding. You've got a bunch of different bloodlines that you're trying to mix and match together to try and get improved performance. Do you have anything else like to your breeding strategy?
I mean, the most successful horses that I've bred so far. So for those of us in Zed, right, they made this big change about the number of breeds per month, right, where they reduced it, right. So that news broke late for me. I was in Houston at the time. It broke like Australian morning or midday or whatever. So I immediately went and bought 3 females off the floor because I feel like there was going to be a run on females. So I have this one horse. It's like a Z37, but it's like a Frankenstein. Like it'll give you a headache looking at the family tree. Like it's just so all over the place. But the offsprings that have come from that, and I tried to breed back into Genesis every time I bred it, and I've actually gotten a couple like decent Griffey winner under 10 odd horses out of that. So
No way.
that's the only glimmer of any breeding success that I've had. Other than that, it's just completely random. I like giving stud fees to my friends. I mean, I did it with Golden Glow the other day. It was like, I'll do that in Discord. I'll say, hey, who has something in stud for the minimum? Like I need to breed today. I'd rather give it to a friend. So I'm freaking all over the place,
Love it, love it. And Jarek, I don't think you've done too much breeding looking at your stable, if any, yet. But are you starting to formulate some like thoughts and plans around that?
Yeah, so actually sucks that Lucky Jacks isn't here because I bred with him I think 2 days ago or something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. But just my breeding, like I look at Genesis like I just broke it down into like I think Genesis horses are like, well, not I think, but they are like the origination of the game. And so not to get like biblical, but just like in Genesis, like in religion, like that's like the origin of a story. So if you continue to go back to that, like you're gonna get the best version of that story. You won't get a diluted version of that story. So I look at that with bloodlines. Like if you go back to Genesis, you're gonna get the most pure version of that bloodline. So my whole strategy is just to always go back to Z1 Genesis Knox.
Ooh, that's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
Did you see the updates? And since you're relatively new, what are your thoughts? Because I don't think they could be influenced by us because we've been here for a little bit longer. What are your thoughts about the changes to the minimum stud prices?
So I'm not too sure how much more it's gonna be. What is the minimum stud price for? Does anybody know for a Z1 knock Genesis?
0.135.
0.13. Okay, well I paid 0.32, and that was the lowest one available. Like I would go to, there was like four of them that were there for like 100 to 400 bucks, but it said that they were all taken, but they were still
Yes.
in the stud market. So I just went with Lucky Jacks. It was like 0.32 ETH.
Okay.
Wow.
How's that horse performing?
Not the best. I mean, let's see. He's not doing the best.
What's his name? I can pull it up.
Nordstrom.
Nordstrom. All right.
Yeah,
Let me just
I
pull
like the
it
name.
up.
thank you. Yeah, I'm just going for like names that are gonna be appropriate for tournaments and like the digital derby. Like you don't want to get a beast horse, right? But then have a name that disqualifies you from getting into something big. That would suck.
Right?
Yeah, that is a great point.
Mm.
All right, so I'll bring him over. Give me a second.
If anything, he's a 2600 runner, like just by the odds.
All right, give me one moment. Ah,
Yeah, there's a horse. I don't know. I don't know if many people commented on it, but one of the horses in the digital derby was named Sluzz Bucket, and I was, we're in these eternal meetings, and no one's saying anything. So I'm like, I guess we're letting it rock, you know?
The funny thing about that is Slush Bucket was I was gonna buy that over Hi Ho Silver. So
Really,
yeah,
that's
Dang.
funny. That's
yeah.
funny.
I was
well,
glad I didn't when they didn't win the digital derby. I was like, all right, we're good.
that's hilarious. Uh, so you bred Diamond with high ho silver of
Yep.
okay.
So
And
yeah, not doing the best, but if we're just looking at the odds, obviously it's best in 2600.
okay. Well, yeah, 2000. 32, 32, 9, 4. That was the Griffin.
I should have
Had a
sold him
really nice
after that
Griffey.
Griffey. I should have sold him right there.
That's so tough because
Yeah.
you never know where it's going to go, and I don't think anyone has really quite cracked the variance post Griffey. Like
Yeah, it's
I've
very
seen it
hard.
go up, I've seen it go down, I've seen it stay the same. It's so unpredictable and so scary.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves you itching for more. Like when you pull four odds in the grippy, it's like you
That's
really
what it
want to
does.
see. Yeah, you want to see a couple more races. You know.
You
Yeah.
may actually, for this particular horse, try 1200. It's only
Oh,
been
yeah.
raced once, and that was probably where your win came from. But your speed was off the charts right there.
Okay.
Um, try MJ Stables his tool if you race it more, but you're going to be high up in class racing it. It'll probably class down to probably like class 3 or 4 to somewhere around that area to probably class down to, and then you'll be viable more than
Okay.
likely. 'Cause where you
While
race
while
now,
you have this pulled up, could I ask a question? What do you guys, if you have a U-shaped racer, how do you guys feel about sandbagging, and would you do it?
well, if you have a U-shaped racer, it sandbags on its own.
Correct. But let's say like Princess of Power and Diamonds or LBJ Goat, you can see that at 1,000 meter and 1,200, they're good. They're most likely going to get 12th place. But then if you go to 2,200 or 2,000, like their wins are off the chart right there. So you can see like it's more skewed towards first place and these two different and distances, and then and these two different distances, it's more skewed towards like
Well,
12th place.
well, it's part of the game. I'll let everybody else answer, but in my opinion, it's part of the game. If people are sandbagging their horses to keep it competitive at a certain level, then until there's some type of structure change where we know exactly what a horse is capable of, and we can race it based we're stuck in our divisions or something like that, which I don't think would be healthy for the platform, and it's not necessarily the vision. It's game on, you know.
I agree with you, Emery. I totally agree. I mean, with the change they made with, I think there's two types of sandbagging, right? There's going at your worst distance where your distribution is 9th through 12th place heavy. And then there's going up in classes, which they basically deaded that by saying you can't lose points if you go up in class and get 12th. So like they've deaded that. And now people are just using their horse's natural so-called distances to navigate and stay inside of classes. I think I totally agree. I mean, it's part of it, you know, it's part of it. It's they're just being strategic, I think, in my opinion. I don't see a problem with that.
If you're racing to win, in my opinion. Otherwise, like, why would you do it if you intentionally know you're not going to have the chance of performing well?
But it's easier to win if you go down.
Yes, much easier, much easier.
I mean, I know Saul's Vanish, he doesn't run Moolah Moolah in the short distance races just because he knows that he doesn't want to be a jerk and go down to class 4 and 5, even though the rewards are pretty much similar going all the way up to class 1. There's like no incentive in being in class 1. It takes longer for the races to fill. You're up against a higher competition. If you're in class 4 and class 3, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the flip side to that, Jarek, I know you wanted to say something, but the flip side to that is Centrobos made a great point on why he doesn't race. He races Charlie Chevelle at a specific instance. He's trying to keep his win rate high. So in the future, there will possibly or more than likely be deals you can make with companies outside of Zed to promote your horse, like branding, in essence. So the people who are sandbagging their horse, they're going to look at him like, oh, this horse had a 20% win rate. This horse had a 12% win rate. Both of them are profitable, but this one wins more. So I'm going to give my my monetary gains to the person who had the higher win rate.
Right.
That's a possibility.
Dan Chen said that in the chat. Shout out to Dan Chen. But what he said in chat was one huge mistake many newcomers make is they think dropping is the way to go. But if the horse is not a killer, you're just wrecking your ROI. So
100%.
I agree with you, Dan, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. It's and each horse is so different. Like the theory of it can be effective, but the actual implementation on your horse can vary so wildly.
I've heard this a lot where people try it.
Effective.
They used to try to go up in a class to get 12th, and then they end up winning a race. And then it's like you're just wasting a bunch of time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my problem right now because I was against sandbagging, right? I don't know. I just felt like I was holier than thou. But now that I'm in class 1 and kind of like Tom Teasy was saying, like it's slow. Like it just takes a long time for these races to fill. And I'm sitting here looking at arbitrage. Golden Glow, can you do me a favor and pull up Princess of Power real quick?
All right.
And just go to the charts. Like this dude is a genius. Like straight up, he's figured out how. Now this is a full-time job, but he's figured it out. He'll chart up to class 1 as soon as he touches class 1. He gets his ass out of there and he goes right back down to 3. You can look at this with LBJ Goat, Princess of Power, or Marajo. Like this dude is running a system and it's genius. Like so just go to charts real quick. As soon as he touches class 1, he gets out of there. So to scroll down and he'll still keep a steady profit, which is just has one more. Scroll down one more. Right there. So and for the charts for any of his horses look the exact same as this. Now, can you go to drill down for me?
Yes, I can.
And then do the 1,000 meter and the 1,200 meter. And then you can just like kind of go over both of them and you'll be able to select both. But even though you'll see he loses more, he's still profitable. So even though like if you can sandbag, he's still keeping himself profitable going down in classes. So like if you look at the way he races, he'll do his best distances, high money. And then if he wins, he'll run one of these 2 races to keep his ass down in classes, which I'm trying to do right now because it's genius. Like if you're trying to be the most profitable racing stable, that's the way to do it.
Got to pay for those stud fees somehow, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Like if I had a horse, I could do it. Like we
I
ain't studying
can't
until
fault
you
them
go
for
in.
doing that. I cannot fault them for doing that.
You
What I
can't.
can fault is the people who are class 2. It's like this horse floats around between class 1 and class 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or class 3. Ooh, I didn't know. If I see that Princess of Power in a race, I'm not joining that race. Sorry, I'm not.
Smart.
I don't have a horse that can compete with it. I have competed with Vanilla Bean, but Vanilla Bean's a true U-shaped horse. Like, she finishes first, she finishes last at her best distances. So I'm not scared of like Steph Curry's the main events or none of them, because I feel like even with my average horses, because I don't have complete donkeys now, I had average horses for a while. I feel like I can compete because it's a 50. It's more like a 70-30 shot that I can at least podium or beat them, because they finish last half of the time, if not more.
Also,
But
if
these
you're-
horses, this is intentional, and I'm not faulting them for that because it's profitable.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
profitable, and it's leaving. Like, if people don't like it, if you can go and race against him, study where you know he wants to lose at, and hop in those races. And
100%.
Great
100%.
point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I've done the exact same thing. Looking at a horse, it's a big name. Okay, there's a good chance it's going to finish first, but can also finish last. And is this horse's preferred distance? You know, if you look at overall average odds, if you have the time to do that, which you really don't for the $2.50
Yeah,
races
that's
anymore,
true.
but like you can see some kind of terrifying low average odds. But then when you actually go into like the class and the distance, the performance can vary wildly.
Yes.
And I think that's something that hopefully with the new class system, if there's a little more time, we can see that a little better. So with kind of changes of the classes coming, maybe Tom Teasy will start with you. Where do you see Zed going? Kind of like talking about the future of Zed
Where do I see Zed going?
as a platform.
I see like Zed going to a place where people can race more of their horses. Like right now, there's a lot of horses that is just like, well, put them in the Griffey. That's it. Pull
Mhm.
crap odds. I'm not going to race them ever again. I see Zed getting to a point where like there's going to be a reason why Princess of Power wants to stay in Class 1 and not class down to 4 and run it all the way back up to Class 1 and then run all the races that they lose going back down. I see Zed like figuring out some sort of system of like, hey, if you're in Class 1, you earn whatever token because you're here. Your horse is like it made it here to the higher echelons of Zed. It's a proven like winner, and if you're here, you're competing for the most money, and like you would want to stay in Class 1 because you're going to be earning the most up there, and then all our donkeys will be fighting to try to get to that point, and we're just racing against other donkeys. So I see Zed getting to a place where we can race more of our horses than just having like, oh, I got the one horse, I get to race because I have it, because I have that killer horse.
Nice, I like that. I like
That's a
that.
good
Accessible. Make it open for more people.
Mhm.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I completely agree. Zed's stated specifically about opening up a class for 0% win rate horses and under 5% win rate horses. So I think right now, like Tommy said, I mean, a lot of people run 2-3 a Griffey 2-3 paid races, and then they're just going to shelf that horse. Now those horses are going to find a place in Zed. I think that's important for the Zed team to do, is find a place for every single horse. Like under 5% win rate class, that's my whole stable, bro. Like that's, like that's literally all my horses. You know what I mean? So I'm going to dominate that class and I'm going to have a lot more fun. I'm going to be a lot more engaged and willing to participate in something like that. And the other thing is, if they're able to bring on two classes like that, I think the door's open. I mean, they could look and say which horses on our platform are not seeing the track. How can we develop a class that will include them and incentivize people with those horses to get involved? So I don't know if maybe one day there's some sort of burn mechanic. That's something we've talked about as a community, and burn a horse for a skin, burn a horse for the name to get the name back or whatever, something like that. These are all kind of things that have been discussed, but at the very minimum is developing other classes, whether it's under 5% win rate, under 7.5% win rate, under 10%. Develop all these other classes so every single horse on the platform kind of has a spot to fit in and enjoy the game.
Love it. I
Yes.
love it.
Um,
What about you,
to get,
Jarek? Oh,
to get to that real fast. Hold on one
yes,
second.
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
A couple days ago, Dan Chin, who's in the chat, tweeted about a class change, and I kind of expanded on it, and Tom Healy just expanded on it even further. Whereas we were saying like there should be about 10 classes, and you got to distribute the amount you can earn, and that would keep um, these super racers away from these classes, the lower class classes, because like you could go down to class 2, there's still going to be some monsters there because the pot's going to be bigger. You go down to class 3, the pots are still going to be bigger, so there's going to be monsters there too. You'd have to class all the way down to where it's not even worth classing up to. It's not even worth classing down that far because you're not racing for any money. It's $5, like say the highest pot, if we're 10 classes, say the highest pot at class 6 or 7 was only $5. The $5 buy-in, I think that's like $32. Like, yeah, hey, you keep racing for $32, and then eventually we're gonna look at your horse, and nobody's gonna enter that race, and the population, we'll just go around that race, and then you're stuck because you can't race your horse because they're only going to be allowing you to enter one race at a time, and there's fatigue, and so it's like the community in the future going forward will have the power to prevent people from completely abusing the system. It's not abuse, like none of us have a problem with it, but like if they do update some type of monetary things, and we know we don't have a shot of beating that horse, nobody's just going to enter that race. I'm not going to waste my one race that I'm only allowed to enter with fatigue and all that with Vanilla Bean there, or even though Vanilla Bean's beatable because she's the natural U shape, but with LBJ Goat there, I'm not jumping in that race. And half of the community is like, nah, I'm not jumping in that race. So you're better off just staying higher in class, winning, taking your lumps, as they say.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, as horses get introduced into the ecosystem, we only have 5 classes right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just math. You're going to have so many horses in only 5 classes, and then they add 2 more, and then we breed for a couple months, and they add 2, 3 more, 2, 3 more. Like, it's just math. I mean, I think Zed is well aware that 5 classes are not going to cut it.
Well, it's not that I disagree slightly with that. It's not that 5 classes don't cut it. It's that horses shouldn't be racing against certain horses. And so I think it's more like 10 classes, because in class 1 right now, like you have horses that can't race with the upper echelon of class 1, but they're too powerful to race with the upper echelon of class 2. And you got it in from class 2 to class 3 to class 4 to class 5. That you got horses that are too powerful to be in class 5, but too weak to be in class 4. And so that's all. That's the only reason I think it should at least double. I don't think it should go that far beyond that, because you would have the lowest of the low, as currently how we see it, down at the bottom, being able to race with each other and win, lose, and podium.
I think that the bigger issue right now is just the distribution of the classes. The majority of the races right now are class 4 and class 5.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively, like, it's next to nothing in class 1 compared to class 5. And I think that needs to be addressed, and I think that needs to be the core of the update to this class system.
Well, once again, a lot of the reason the races don't populate as fast in Class 1 is there's people who know their horse shouldn't be in Class 1. I'm not racing. He's retired. I shouldn't be here trying to race against the Grandairs, the Terms of Engagement, the Crimson Chins, the Mula Mulas, the Charlie Travels. I can't win that race under any circumstances.
I'd be curious. I don't know if there's a tool like this that exists, but is there a way to easily go look at the exact number of horses in each class on a particular day? Okay.
The
No
closest thing I know of is Z.report, and that will show you the breakdown of the number of races by class,
Right.
as well as like the number of queued races, free versus not, and the number of horses in the queue, and that's done by BG. I just threw it in chat there.
Okay, sweet. And that's probably wildly skewed heavy on 4 and 5, like you're saying,
Yes.
right? If you look
Yeah,
at that.
absolutely. Yeah, currently it says there are 19 races in Class 5, 19 in Class 4. This was as of a few minutes ago. 14 in Class 3, 7 in Class 2, and 4 in Class 1.
Right.
So it's almost like a quarter of the amount of races in 1 versus 5. It's an incredibly small amount, but
And the other thing is, a lot of people have those Genesis Nakamotos that are in Class 1, the Z1s, and they're protecting their records. And because as a community, we haven't come close to cracking breeding, there are a few people like the ZGs and the Dan Chans that are close probably to cracking breeding, but it's not like 70 or just like in real world horse racing. It's not guaranteed. And so we haven't beat Genesis horses on average with bred horses. And until we get to that point as a community, because it's going to take us all breeding and sharing thoughts or keeping it private and just keep testing your theories until we can actually outperform at the exclusive, the elite, the cross, the pacer, and the legendary level. Because right now it's still a crapshoot.
what do you think about all this, Jarek?
Sorry.
Your question to those two before was what?
So the original question was kind of where do you see the future of Zed, but then also I'll give you kind of a second part of any comments on the current class system and how maybe things could be approached or fixed in your opinion.
Where I see the future of Zed is not even needing to have a good racehorse to have fun. Like, I'll take it back to like Madden Ultimate Team. Like me and my friends, we wouldn't even really play online. And Madden Ultimate Team is where you just collect these cards and build up a team and play. But you don't need to play online to have fun. Like, let's say just me and Golden Glow want to play. Like, I just want to race him. So maybe me and him could wager, and that's where like the custom races comes in, right? Like, I just want to have fun with my friend every Saturday. So we want to race our horses and bet $20. So I think the future of Zed is allowing people to have fun with the game without having to have like a top tier racehorse.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean that would be so exciting to just be like, hey, like Sean, Tumteezy, like Jarek, like let's go. I want to take on Diamonds. One race for
No, I saw that horse. No.
$5, and let's go do it. But let's do it at a distance that is horrible for both of our horses and just see what happens, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
And
there are a
then-
lot of ways that you can have fun with it.
Yeah. And then for the class rating, I would just say disincentivize the all-star racers from going down in class. Like for me right now, like there's no I'm not disincentivized by going down. I think if anything, they should only let you race in your class. Like if you're class 2, don't let people race class 1, because then there's the incentive of like you have to get to class 1 to where these big pools are to get that money. And then it just disincentivizes all like the beasts from going down in class, because that's not where the money's going to be made at. It's going to be made in class 1.
I like that. And I think that the money banding distribution, kind of a little bit like we talked about earlier, would be really important. For sure, for sure. So, either way, it sounds like we're all kind of in agreement that the future of Zed is going to be exciting. It's going to be more accessible. We'll get to race more of our horses with a chance, or at least a hope of being more profitable or successful at the very least. Successful might be a better word there.
Party mode.
Yeah. What
Party mode.
I feel like that's going to create so many more exciting moments within Zed itself. But until that happens, what currently have been your favorite Zed moments for yourself personally? And Jarek, let's go ahead and start with you if that's okay. Unless Sean, you got something?
Yeah, I was just I was just gonna say, like, so far, you know, like watching the amount of new users in the past 3 weeks has really like made my eyes go open. I mean, obviously, I know as a streamer, I could tell when I'm getting a lot of new people in. So I think the past 3 weeks has been the most exciting time for me because I see so many new people getting in and so many people coming into Discord asking questions. I mean, even like Jarek, just a couple weeks old, already found a banger, and I'm sure he's here for the long run with Zed. You know what I mean? He's hooked now. You know, but I mean, the past 3 weeks, especially because we all know the game was kind of stale in June before breeding was open. I mean, it was like Zed was down bad, bad. You know what I mean? And they've made these improvements and they've really come through with a lot of great stuff, a lot of stuff for us to look forward to. And I think the last 3 weeks is like the most fun I've had in this community since I started.
Fantastic. Love it. Love it. Jarek?
Your question was what again? Sorry.
What was been like your most like exciting moment? Was it buying your first horse? Was it a first big win? Is it something community related, like Sean said?
I would say my first like exciting moment, I'm sure it's with anybody, is just hopping in that first race. Like just watching the race is fun, but also like an exciting moment for me was being new to this game and watching the digital derby. Like your guys' production level on that was like, I was like, bro, I feel like I'm watching a ESPN UFC pre-show right now. Like this is top class. So if this is the first one, like, oh, we're going out of here. Like this game is gonna take off with the just how top level that was.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. I've gone back and watched, and I can't wait to do more of those. We got some announcements coming soon on that, so appreciate it.
Yeah, that was dope.
What about you, Tim Teasy?
I'm gonna share mine with Sean. Like just seeing the community grow. Like yeah, like my first exciting moment in Zed was when I bought that I bought Reba, right? There's two horses I was thinking about getting. I was gonna get Reba or this one called Golden Rod or something, or Rolden God. It was Rolden God. And I ended up getting Reba. And then I saw Rolden God racing. I was like, dang, this is a U horse everybody's talking about. And then I guess Rolden God like ended up not being that great because Reba was actually a killer too. So
Nice.
that was my first moment of like really excitement. But now it's just like I guess for Sean and I, it's just like onboarding people into Zed. Like usually like their first horse comes from one of our glue horses, like I guess our glue stables, and they get to race it and experience like that same moment, like being able to share that moment with others. And
That's so cool.
yeah, that like it happens like it happened last week with the guy who ended up winning one of the horses Sean gave away. He came into our Discord and was so excited about racing it and tweeted about it. We all watched it with him. Pretty sure you were there too, MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like that's like that always is like the best feeling.
The thing that sticks out to me is like for a lot of these people that they've gotten their first horse from us, it's their first NFT. Like NFTs completely changed the course of my life. Like 100% end statement, like completely different direction. So bringing people into that world, like it feels really good because it's exciting. It's early. A lot of people that either showed up at our stream, got into Zed, and now they're hitting these plays back to back to back on NFTs. It's like it's just such a beautiful thing to see, to bring them into all these other opportunities that come along that are bigger than just Zed. It's just this entire space is like rich with opportunity right now, and being able to bring people in and then watch their own come up, like that's like the best. It's the best.
I love that. That's got to be so incredibly filling and fulfilling to do. So with
MJ,
kind of yeah,
hold on. One quick question.
yeah,
We
absolutely,
always ask people their most exciting moment.
yeah.
What is your most exciting moment?
He's
Oh,
like, when I got
jeez.
all the data on every horse in the game, and I was able to put it into a Tableau spreadsheet.
This
um,
is how you spell Reba to the chat, by the way, because they're asking. But yes,
my
MJ, go ahead.
that's actually tougher than I thought. I'm going between two right now. Um, buying my first horse wins by the moment. I did just an extensive amount of research on the horse, and it's a decent, it's an okay horse. I ruined it experimenting with different ways of downclassing it. Um, but I still have a lot of fun with that horse, and it just holds like sentimental value because that's what got me into the game. But the very close, if not beating it, was breeding my current favorite horse, Gold War, um, and just the research that went into that. It's like I'd like to think all the pieces came together, but in reality, it's probably a lot of luck too. Um, but then just to have a horse that can perform decently well, pretty well, is pretty exciting. Um, and so it was something that I never thought I would be able to have like a horse that would perform like that. So
For
having
those
that
that
horse,
don't know, Gold War have a Twitter. Check it out.
Well-
Derek, you should make a Twitter for Diamonds, by the way.
absolutely, absolutely.
I did. What was your strategy when breeding that horse? Like, or what was your thought process going into that?
Sure. I kind of like you. I wanted to look at a legendary knock um, to breed it with, just to like pile on some good blood, like combine a bunch of blood together. Because I think it's Billions, and it's like a grandchild of Billions, and I can't remember. Let me pull up Zedrun Tools quick.
I'm here. I got you.
Um,
that one too. Okay, hold on. I get it. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so I had Super Sheik, my Genesis that was up for a breed. He was very okay. It's like 18 odds horse. It has pulled some better things, but nothing like special. And wanted to, yeah, I had a Z4. Oh, sorry, it wasn't legendary. It was exclusive. Um, knock Crusher that had parents of. I was willing to go elite. I have this theory, this thought, and people have talked about before that elites are going to be good racers. So I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's try and make a good racer. And then I just happened to stumble upon this horse, um, Crusher, that had Billions as a parent, and then August Sunset, and then just kind of like working back up the line, I saw horses that are racing Class 1, Class 2 with good odds, and just like consistent performers. Yeah. So like Alpha and Omega, 12.87 odds. Not amazing, but not horrible, but a Z1 um, racing in Class 2. As bad as you remember, Class 1, 7.27 odds, 18% win rate. Like, that's awesome to me. August Sunset, I think, is pretty unproven. May not have too many races. But then Billions, Class 1 and 987 odds. And it's like that's another great horse. And then the Offspring Crusher is like I'm seeing like levels of success throughout the lineage. It's hitting my criteria and then just consistent success. So I was like, yeah, let's try that out and go for it.
Is that,
Nice.
108 races, 19 total wins, 60% ROI.
Wow.
Off of 0.12, it's 0.19, so it's pretty good. It's
No
better
wonder
than
that-
I did.
No wonder that
Right.
horse talks a lot of smack on Twitter. I get it.
Only good at the cheaper races. Only good at the cheaper races. Trying to get out of Class 1 currently. Because a lot of them lately have been free in Class 1.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Just for like
finding-
distances.
Are you finding which distance?
Trying to get out of Class 1. Here he is with the first place.
Yeah.
That's my
Happens.
whole problem right now too. Is like I know where I can lose at, but it's just a matter of like I'm either
Jesus.
gonna get first or last.
Yeah, Gold
It's,
War is not getting out of class one. I'm looking at his second, third,
I'm
second.
getting him out. I'm getting him out.
Second.
We're going more aggressively on
Last
getting
race was
out.
a first.
We're gonna get
First,
out.
second, first, second, second. Nah, you might as well just wait for the class change, bro. He's not coming out.
Yeah, I've got some plans to get him out. I've got some plans, but it's going to be time consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a new strategy I'm working on to get him out without hurting things too bad. Hopefully.
And congratulations on breeding. That's a
Thank you.
great horse to have, and the fact that you bred it on your own. Shouts out to King Beaver Shot for breeding the left side of your
Yeah.
table, the left side of his tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that also goes to show. I don't want to get sidetracked and try to dominate the conversation. But that also goes to show. I was putting forth a theory that Genesis mares bred to exclusive males can produce pretty good winners if they breed with a pretty good horse. It's half of what ZG said and half of what Dan Chen said. That you have to look at the horse's pedigree and then breed the Genesis mare into something that's into a Nakamoto, because the Buterin, we think, as far as breeding is concerned, we think it holds more traits of its parents than Nakamoto's. In essence, saying that Nakamoto bred on Nakamoto is you have a wide variety of variants or how good or how bad the horse can go, because it has more access to the genes. But
When I first bred Gold War, I wasn't pissed, but I was a little like let down because I really wanted a female elite so I could try and keep it at elite. And I was like, all right, here we go, whatever. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll take this too. Like this works too. I'm happy with this. But yeah, my original hope was to get a female, so then I could just keep bringing that blood in over and over again.
Well, if you could breed a super chick with Crusher again,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, right. I might have to hit that up again.
Um,
So, are there any other? You mentioned Top Shot, Jarek, Timteasy. I think you'd mentioned CryptoKitties. Are there any other NFT projects that you guys are involved with that you really like right now?
Do you even want us to start, or Sean and I?
Yeah, I know you guys are pretty active in Discord. Yeah, what are your most recent ones you're excited about, or something that you're more active in?
I think Axie is probably like my favorite thing that's not Zed Run at the moment, just because I think they've figured out this system to where people can play these blockchain NFT games. They could earn money a lot. In most cases, Axie, the way Axie works, for people that don't understand, is like you buy NFTs and you can lease them out to somebody. It started in the Philippines, so that's where a lot of people end up playing the game. So I lease out NFTs, they play them, and then we earn money. We earn money and split it up, essentially. So the scholars that are in these impoverished nations, I mean, they're making about double the average salary where they live. So that's been like a really fulfilling experience, as well as bringing on scholars into Axie and kind of fronting the money for them to earn digital currency to take care of their families. So me and Tommy are both pretty deep into it, and it's been a lot of fun. I think they do a lot of things right that will eventually come to Zed. I think in the future of Zed, there will be a way to lease out your horses. So if you're not a big Zed person, but you walk into a bar and you're able to rent a horse for 3 hours with your friends while you're sitting there drinking and eating, you get to race for 3 hours, and then through a smart contract, the horse is automatically sent back to the owner, and then everything else is worked out from there. But I think Axie, they're kind of pioneering in this space with the trustless smart contract system of borrowing, lending NFTs. So that's been exciting to participate in.
Nice, love it.
Yeah, along with Sean, it's just Axie, and a lot of we look at other play to earn games. Illuvium I saw in the chat. That's one. Chickens. We have some chickens. I think you only have one chicken, right, Sean?
Did someone
Yeah.
say chickens?
I have one, and truth be told, I'll probably give it away on stream before the game actually comes out.
I pulled a knack chicken from the first drop, and I'm willing to trade it for a knack. So if anybody's got a knack out there,
Hey,
I'll trade you some spicy chicken knack for a horse knack.
Yeah, shout out to everyone with the chickens though, because I've been hearing from my friends like the offers that are starting to come in on it. So shout out to everyone that minted a bunch of those because you guys are killing it right now.
Yeah, you ducked in. I couldn't get on the board ape, so I'm changing the slang. Everybody's aping in, I'm ducking in. Ducks on the pond, baby.
Pixel ducks to the moon.
Yes.
Let's go.
Pixel ducks to the pond, baby.
I have a question for Jarek. I just want to know what was your experience like with Top Shot, because I heard about Top Shot at like maximum height in January, February, and then from an outsider perspective, the market like took a big old shit. So I'm just wondering what was your journey like through Top Shot? I'm curious.
It was fun, right? Well, like getting the thrill of getting a pack was the most fun part, but to be honest, if I bought a moment, that just like you said, it went down. Like my whole process was just like the prices always would go down. I would do a challenge to get this moment. The price would go down. I would lose money. But like in this past like 2 weeks, it's been starting to go back up. But yeah, my whole experience was that I built up like a collector score. I don't know if you guys stayed around for collector score to come around, but I basically got lumped in the same category as someone that could spend $100 on the game. So I'm like, it kind of made me hot. Like I've spent $3,000, $2,000 on the game, and you guys are putting me in the same pack drops as someone who spent $100.
That's
Right.
rough.
Right.
That is rough.
Yeah.
I'm in it still, but passively.
When I heard about it in January, I tried like 4 drops, and when I wasn't able to get anything, and basically was like, all right, I guess this isn't for me, you know, like it's just extremely hard. I think it's really cool. Like I see the utility and like, I mean, like I see like the value of an NFT now. Now it was Top Shot that made Ethereum kind of click to me in my head. You know, it's like Tommy's been telling me about Ethereum for 5 years, and it wasn't until Top Shot when I saw the potential of NFTs and Ethereum that I said, oh, I get it now. You know, like it makes sense to me, NFTs and Ethereum, you know? So like, even though I bought my first pack on a Zedrun stream, like 3 weeks ago or whatever. But even though I didn't get in back in January, February, it clicked, something in my head clicked about Ethereum and NFTs. So for that, I'm like forever thankful, you know, because it put a lot of people on to Ethereum, blockchain, NFTs, and just the concept, actually seeing something come to fruition, you know, like it's no longer just an idea that Tommy's telling me about. It's like, I see it now, you know, it makes sense, you know, makes sense to my brain.
When Sean was telling me, oh, go ahead.
Zedrun takes it to the next level, like, because with Top Shot, you can't take your moments out of Top Shot, but with Zedrun, like you go and breed a horse, like that thing's in your OpenSea account like that. Mm-hmm. So with Zedrun, I was like, oh, I really own this moment. Like I can do whatever I want with this. So that was like the light bulb moment. I was like, okay, Top Shot is cool, but it's not 100% ownership. Zedrun, you own this horse. Like, you want to go put it on OpenSea for whatever price you want to, go do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like when Sean told me about Top Shot, that was my beef with it, was that I was just like, well, cool. It's kind of like on its own little chain, and I don't understand, like, why do I want a video on a website that I can't move it anywhere else, you know? And so that was kind of my thing with Top Shot. I did sign up and tried to get into the lines with Sean, and it just gave me the CryptoKitty flashbacks of I'm about to lose all my money again as soon as I get the moment. And so like, yeah, like CryptoKitties is not a nice time for me in 2016.
Yeah,
I'm
me
so
either.
sorry. It's still traumatic.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just like this is every time I look at a project, I always think back. Like I remember buying those 3 cats for like $70 and instantly being zero.
yeah, I don't want to trash on Top Shot, but I didn't hear of Top Shot till after I got the Zed run, and I'm a huge basketball fan. But it sounds to me kind of crazy because like either buying the moments or whatever, they're not like trading cards like I had growing up, but you're buying like these images of people scoring or something like that, and you can't like put it on YouTube and monetize it or something. It's not like they say it's yours, but like I can go watch the same video and clip it on YouTube, and you can't say nothing. So I don't see for me, I don't see the actual utility in something like Top Shot because you're not owning something. You know what I mean? Like how we say with Zed, we own our horses. Zed can't even take our horses from us.
Right. Yeah,
They're
Top
ours.
Shot's a very level 1 NFT, like,
Yeah,
and that's like being generous, where Zed is far and away levels above Zed. I mean, we're all going to take our horses into Decentraland one day and into the Sandbox game and into all these other metaverses, like Top Shot. I think they're a long ways away from
Yeah.
even getting them off of the sidechain,
yeah.
but
I see Sean and I in Dubai racing our horses at a bar, and like some prince is like, "Yo, how much? What do you want for Reba?" I'm like, "I'll take a Byzantine Lambo for Reba right now." Deal's
that's a
done.
dream. That's the dream right there.
I got a quick question for MJ real quick.
Yeah.
So, kind of like Sean was saying with the scholarship thing, and you were saying it was just time consuming to get your horse out of class 1. Say Zed Run does implement something like that. Would you give X amount of like say you're trying to down class, would you pay someone to do that for you? Because like that would take a bunch of time for you to do. So you just smart contract, this person can only run in this distance and this distance, and their whole objective is to down class. Would you have someone do that and pay them to do that for you?
I love that idea. Um, it's I feel it's yeah. If there were like certain guidelines and parameters, they have to be done correctly. But of like, hey, here's my strategy. If you can hit this strategy, then you will get X of. I know downclassing wouldn't necessarily be profitable, but like, hey, let's work on this for a month. And you get, the first 2 weeks we're going to focus on downclassing, then we're going to have a profitable period, or try to have a profitable period. We could split that up. Um, I think could be cool. I would be willing to do that. I'd be willing to consider it if it was done correctly. But as kind of we were talking about earlier, like this could also give someone who doesn't have a horse the opportunity to experience Zedaron with little to no investment on their own end, which would be pretty cool.
Well, the other NFT game I'm in is Splinterlands, and they have this thing where you can rent your cards. It's a card trading game, but it's not like Hearthstone. Like you basically set a lineup, somebody else sets a lineup, and whoever's lineup is better wins. And it's not random or anything. It's just a complete strategy. I think my lineup's the best one under these circumstances. And so you own your cards, and you could actually rent them out for whatever price you feel like sent. And if somebody's actually going to pay it, is a different story. And so I wouldn't mind seeing Zed do something like that, like renting your horse out. The horse comes back if you choose to bring it back, or if the person chooses to cancel the contract after they pay the specific amount they paid for that day. Like, because what it happens is the way it's set up is somebody can rent your card for 7 days, and they could cancel the contract at any point in time, or you could cancel the contract at any point in time. But it's only after a 24-hour period is placed. Like you have to have the money in your account. They put it in escrow if you're renting, and it comes out as that 24-hour period goes on. So if somebody would pay to, like I'd pay to rent diamonds for a night for a day and go on a win streak, or I'd pay to rent Terms of Engagement or Crimson Chin or any of the big name horses. I'd pay to rent those horses, and I'd pay way more than I'd pay to rent these cards that I'm paying on Splinterlands. Because I could go on a tear with one of them.
That would
Yeah.
scare me as a stable owner if there couldn't be like certain parameters in place because I'd hate for someone to like potentially sabotage, like rent my horse and then just like trash it and race it incorrectly.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
go
I
on,
think the only
my thing is it wouldn't go on your overall record if they could do something like that. It wouldn't go on your overall record. It would be
Yeah.
like his record.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think that solves that issue right there. It's just
Yeah.
the stats are removed and the horse is the horse. But my vision is very similar to the stud barn. As there's just a rental board where, hey, you could go filter out. I want to rent a Z1 knack tonight. It's my birthday, whatever, and something like that, where it's you set them up to be rented for a certain period of time. And again, you have parameters and it has zero effect on your stable and your performance, but they pay you say 0.1 for the night to rent a Z1, and then whatever they win, they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be
cool.
awesome. But let's not what you say, overwhelm Zed, because we all love the platform. We all want to see a whole bunch of things done. But just the class expansion, the race times, and the fatigue. Just forget what we're saying now. Put it in the cut because I know they watched the show. Because the class thing that we said where you won't lose points, I'm 100% certain that came from Tommy, who's on the bottom right. Because Sean brought it up on stream, and like a week later, they implemented it exactly how Tommy worded it. So the class change, everybody who's familiar with it, I'm attributing that to Tommy until somebody tells me otherwise from the Z team.
Love it. Love it.
It'd be cool if you could like you could pull in on an entry fee for like top racers into like a big money race, and
Yeah.
depending on how much you pulled, like you put on that horse to enter that race, you could get
You
some
could
of
stake
the
it
reward.
almost,
Yeah,
like a
you could
stake.
stake.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
stake.
Yeah.
You stake on that
That'd be
horse.
sick. That'd be sick.
Very, very cool.
Does any of you? I'll start with Tommy this time. Do you have any superstitions or traditions that you have before you enter a race?
Do I have any superstitions?
Like, do
No,
you
I just
always
I hit.
wear the cowboy hat when entering races? Or
Yeah, it's always on. It's always on.
He wears it
never-
down to the
And it-
strip in Vegas
Yeah.
all the time.
I got exactly.
And are those pit vipers? I need to ask.
Yeah, they are. And I
Oh,
got a
that's
horse
a
named Pit
beautiful-
Viper, and he actually pulls decent odds.
No way. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
He's
And
gonna
so
get
are
the-
there-
He's like my fourth favorite horse. If I sell Reba and Versace French Toast and Water Whip and Woods, then it goes Pit Viper.
I love it. I love it. And so, do you have multiple pit vipers and multiple hats?
Yeah, I got another set of Pit Vipers. They're not as good as these though, but
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
you got something there. It's the what looks like orange and purple.
yeah,
Love it.
they're hard to get. They were hard to get when I was buying them, and I was like, dang it, I guess I gotta go with orange. But
That's
Whatever.
like Phoenix Suns colors.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Jersey. Phoenix Suns would go perfect with that.
Oh, wait till they give him the bag and he has the Pit Viper skin on his horse, Pit Viper,
Let's go.
advertising
Yeah,
the brand. You know,
like
Let's
when-
go.
So all I do now is just I click on there's a specific gate I race. You can usually see it when you go look at my horses, but it's one of the easier gates to get into. MJ said it on one of his streams before,
Oh yeah.
and I was just like, okay, yeah, that's going to be the easiest one to. That's the gate I'm just going to run in. So I just run in that gate.
Love
I don't
it,
have a
love
gate
it.
super like I could care less what gate I get, but
I don't have a superstition, and I race in low money races, so it's super hard these days, right? But I like gate number 4. That's my mom's favorite number, so I try to get in gate 4 if I can.
I like it. I like it.
I
Very
think like Dan Chan said, I like gate 1. Just keep it simple. I think he
Yeah.
said that
Nice.
a couple weeks back.
how'd you know my gate?
Oh man.
Very
So,
cool. Very exciting. But yeah, I've always wanted to know about the glasses and the hats, Tom Teasy. That is awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it.
You got the hat over the headphones. That's clean right there.
Mhm,
Yeah, right?
That's a
It's
one.
flush.
That's
It's
a 101. It's a 101 from
yeah.
Corsair and Shoot, what was that?
Stenson, right? It's a
Yeah,
Stenson.
Yeah.
It's a Stenson Corsair
Yeah.
one-on-one collab.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I had thought that he did some like really innovative thing and like cut holes into.
No,
It doesn't
you
make
think?
sense
Do you
now
think
because I'm not.
we undercut our production over here at Sean Versal?
Come on, bro. Come on,
Do you
bro.
think we undercut our production level over here? We only get only the finest, only
Okay.
the finest racers in our barns. You know, we buy the best horses,
Yeah.
name
Buy
them
the
the
best
best.
hats.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, One thing I want to talk to you guys about was Steez Boys Gaming.
Right.
Just recently launched. If you want to go into a little bit more about that, kind of what your vision is for that, what that looks like.
Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate you giving me the platform. So, as we get into this era of play to earn gaming, like my experience learning about Axie, it's just another aha moment. Like this is going to take over. Like this is going to be so big. I don't know if anyone saw the tweet. I think it was the head of YouTube Gaming saying he was very bullish on NFTs and play to earn gaming. So what I want to do is build a brand that is part esports, but also very heavily focused on blockchain gaming, play to earn gaming. So we launched a company called Steez Boys Gaming. You could go to steezboysgaming.gg if you want to check it out. But it's kind of like a passion project. Me and Tommy are going to work on the side. We have a lot of friends that are kind of dipping into content creation, dipping into streaming in the future. And so we just want to build a platform for all of our friends to compete in these games, try these games out, experience play to earn gaming. And, I've always kind of wanted to be on an esports team. The problem is I just suck at most games, right? So why not build your own? It's like with the internet these days, it's like you could actually build something from the ground up with your friends and do it at a professional level without going to some big established organization. So we got it off the ground yesterday, and I want to shout out to Crypto Cujo and the boys over there because they really gave me a lot of guidance, and we connected early on in my journey into NFTs, and we have the same vision of like esports play to earn gaming is going to be a massive billion-dollar industry, that's going to spread all over the world. I mean, the Axie model can be replicated in 100 countries and it would do well. So I think it's very early, and I just want to create a brand that is bigger than Zed, that touches more areas of gaming than just Zed, and also allows my friends to get involved and create something with me. Super pumped. Thank you for giving me the platform to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really excited for it. The link's in chat for anyone who wants to check it out. It is pretty cool. I'm very excited to see what the two of you and kind of the rest of the team do.
Yeah, we're going to do like tournaments. We're going to do like giveaways. I mean, we're going to do like Fortnite tournaments, Rocket League tournaments, Zed Run tournaments eventually when we have custom races, and do all sorts of fun stuff. But it's going to be really NFT focused, where there's NFT prizes, there's crypto prizes. Look forward to sharing more later.
Love it. Very, very exciting.
Oh, I didn't ask Tommy and Sean. What are your thoughts on the expanded or the updated breeding prices? The fact that they went up. What do you think the cause or the effect will be? And are you a fan or not a fan of them?
I would feel like I was already priced out of the, they moved the Z1 stuff back to where they should have been, right, all along. So for me and my stable, which is stacked with Buterins, I think it's a good thing because I think most people will be priced out of the low Z number Zoc or Nakamoto and Zabo. So I think my Buterin colts are going to see a lot more action in the stud barn because they're going to be the most affordable option for people. So, I mean, that's my take. It's biased, but personally, I think it benefits my stable.
Okay. And you, Tommy?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like people were getting like if Nakamoto is like the top bloodline, people are getting it for like $70, into their stable, and so it's kind of, I guess it kind of forces people to really think again on what horses they breed with. I guess it's going to kind of slow down the breeding cycles for people because like if you wanted to breed with a top bloodline, it's no longer $60. It's actually like $300 plus. And so then it's going to like because of the amount of money it takes now to breed with those guys, people are going to rethink: do I really want to breed with a Buterin or wait a few more days and then breed with a NAC or a Zabo? So I think it's a good change and a needed change for the breeding.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. I'm going to offer my 2 cents, because once again, I'm always on the opposite end of the spectrum. The only reason I disagree, or I think the prices just went up too high, is because sniping was real. Like, we've been in chat on the afties, and we've seen horses that we know of that got sniped by our friends who, under the current prices, wouldn't be able to breed with those horses, and so they were able to improve their bloodline. And so, like, if you have a lot of money, the prices really don't mean anything to you if you already own a couple Z1 Nakamotos. And so you could put them in. The people who are playing it safe were putting them in for higher stud fees and getting all their studs. The people who are living on the edge were putting them in at the minimum and hoping not to get sniped and get sniped for one or two, and then getting the third breed off. And some of them were getting all of them off if they planned. And so it doesn't allow for the gamesmanship of breeding for like the ragtag rebel to be able to pick up some great weapons in his stable or in his arsenal because he just can't afford it. And that's my only flip side to it. It's more or less going to keep the people who have a certain bracket of money to be able to breed or keep the power or keep the genes in house. Because I can't, like me personally, I can't even afford to breed with a Z1 Nakamoto because I'm too scared to scratch that lotto ticket and be like, damn, I just sacrificed half of my ETH to breed with this Nakamoto, and I got a donkey. Because that happens too.
Yeah,
That's
I feel you, man.
flip side to it.
Shout out to all the boys in my Discord that went crazy and sniped a bunch of Nakamoto blood, man. They killed
As
it.
well as Steppy Stables, who had the Z1 Nakamoto sniper bot in his Discord.
Yeah.
So yes, it allowed people to strengthen their stables, and now some people will be priced out of it because like you could get a Buterin Philly or something right now for like $70, which was the original idea of the platform. You can get them for like 70, $80. It'll be a donkey, but hey, you could scratch. Before you could breed with a Nakamoto for another $70, and hey, you might get a winner.
Yeah.
So that was my only flip side to it.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's definitely changing ecosystem. I think it's going to continue to change and evolve. And I think at one point Zed said they were going to evaluate breeding prices quarterly. So it could be one of the more volatile things in Zed for sure.
Well,
I do
as
hope they go ahead.
No, I know exactly what you're about to say, Emery. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I do hope they adjust it to whatever contract they're using for the races to keep it around a solid US dollar price, because Zed, the platform, has went on the dollar and not necessarily Ethereum. And like if Ethereum hits like 4,000, which it's capable of, in the next week, then nobody's going to be breeding like that because it's going to be most of us are going to be priced out of it. Or if it hits 5,000 in 2 weeks or something like that. So that's my only critique. I don't think it. I don't necessarily have a problem with the breeding prices. It's just I hope they set them to the U.S. dollar and make it fair around that way. Just whatever contract they're using to keep the race prices uniform, I would hope that they would use that same contract for the breed prices. Keep it around like $500 for Z1 Nakamotos and then scale down from there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would help a lot in terms of budgeting out your stables 3-4 months budgeting out like your breeds for your stable 3-4 months in advance. You want to have at least a ballpark on what it's going to cost to do what month over month. So, yeah, I agree with you, Emery.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Golden Gold, do you have any other questions for our guest tonight?
Hold on one moment. I'm trying to find my notes. I think I closed the tab, and I got to make sure I don't close the chat out like I did when shout out to K Kirk and or Keith for Crimson Racing and East Coast Stables Joe when I accidentally left the stream trying to pick up my notes and lost the stream. So give me 1 second. Sorry about this. And do
All
you
good.
have any questions for each other?
Jarek, do you have any more lottery ticket purchases in your future? Are you gonna roll
Yeah.
the dice again?
I think if I am gonna roll the dice, I'm just gonna keep going back to the Z2 legendary Knockawell. I think that's where I'm gonna just be scratching off any if I'm going to continue.
I like it. I like it.
No doubt, man. Yeah, we're me and MJ are doing our thing tomorrow, and then we're gonna be rolling out kind of a new version of Zed Bets this week. Me and Tom Teasy stream on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 o'clock to midnight Central Time. So
Super excited to see
quick
that
plug.
Yeah, no, please do, please do.
Well,
I'm giving away these Yeezys on my stream, by the way.
yeah,
this
he's
week,
giving away
so.
$500 Yeezys on stream. Tune in Tuesday.
That's a
What
knack
size?
breed right there.
Yeah, that's a knack.
Yeah.
You could breed
Size
with
10.
a knack. You
Size
could breed
10?
with a knack
Oh,
to
okay,
sell
let's
those.
go.
Yeah, size 10. But no,
All
I was
right.
going to do it back in Houston and I forgot. And then when I moved to Vegas, I looked at them the other day. I was like, all right, I need to deliver on this giveaway. And I'm going to figure out something cool to do with that. So
If
Love it.
anybody in the chat has any questions, I've asked all the questions that were on my notes. If anybody
Okay.
has any in the chat has any questions for Tommy, Jarek, or Sean, or myself, or MJ, go ahead and spit them out real fast. If not, this will be replayed on Wednesday on YouTube. We do an upload, and I advise anybody who checks the video out on the replay. If you send it to a friend or something like that, they want to learn about Zed or just they're thirsty for more Zed knowledge. Almost every single thing on the Zed platform is in the description on that page. You can get to Poseidon, you can get to Central Post, you can get to Sean vs. All, you can get to Glue Racing. I see her in here. Shouts out to Lacey, the first lady of Zed. She does the blog. Zed Gazette, who is in here, does the blog. It's in here. He's linked.
Twitter Spaces on Thursdays. He has those.
He has Twitter Spaces on Thursdays. I put it there for just for people who are coming into Zed. It could be a year or two from now if you're watching the video now. Just check the description and you'll get all the information you would need to learn more because it's right there in the description. And I want to thank everybody who followed tonight. Me and MJ didn't quite set up the stream manager to see who everybody followed, but thank you. It's highly appreciative. Go make sure to check us out on YouTube. And the big announcement is, because I don't see any new questions, the big announcement is we're going to be changing the name of the channel from Zed Run Head to ZNN. It's the Zed News Network.
let's go. I love it. I love it.
For everything Zed related, we're probably going to do a couple more shows as well, but we will be changing the name to the Zed News Network, ZNN, here and on YouTube.
Cannot wait. So excited. So excited. Well, thank you, Jarek. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Tim Teasy. Thank you, Golden Glow.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it. Good to meet you, Jarek. I need to get your socials, man.
Yeah.
We'll connect.
Yeah, man. Just at the Evergreen Zed for my Evergreen Twitter, Jarek LG for my personal Twitter and YouTube, and yeah, that's really it, man. It was nice to meet you guys.
Cool, man. You too.
great
You too.
meeting
You too.
For sure.
Yeah,
Welcome to Zed.
If
Thank
you
you.
follow either myself or MJ on Twitter, his name is we added him. And once again, before we go offline, any thoughts and prayers to the people affected by the hurricane? We couldn't get LJ on tonight. Hopefully, we get him next week. He's doing good because people sent me some messages. He's doing good. He just lost internet, but other people were affected more adversely. And so, thanks everybody for showing up. You all have a good night.
Thank you, guys.